everybody. Hello, Just Q family. It's your girl Q. What to do? What to do? It's been a while since I've posted up a video, but everything has been going well. It's school, it's business, it's work. So trying to find the balance is quite tricky. But anyway, I hope that God is keeping you under His hand of grace, and always know that whatever's happening, it's working for your good. Right now, you might not see it, but you know what? As long as you trust in Him who sees what will happen tomorrow, you're good, you're good. So today, I'm going to speak about me. I want to just share something. Hopefully, it's going to help someone. The point is always to help someone, even if it's one person. As long as you help somebody, then you've done a great good. So I'm about to turn the big 30. I know it's unbelievable. Look at this. So yeah, I just am reflecting on a few things, and I just want to share them. I wanna bring out my thoughts. So let's do it.
It's just a brand new kind of me. It took a long.
Yes, guys. Okay, so today we're having. You can see I'm just chilled, having my nice blankie. We're gonna just chat, and as I said from the beginning, I only hope that this can help somebody. Um, your identity is very important. Identity is very important. Understanding who you are and what you want is very important, because it is easy to steer somebody who doesn't know what they want. That's what I've realized in my almost 30 years of living. I've realized that what is it's very crucial to as a mother, as a guardian, as a leader, to always impart qualities in the young people, in your children, in your nieces, in your nephews. Impart certain things in them that will drive them to know who they are, to find out their strengths, to find out their weaknesses, and it's always good. So for me, growing up, I'm from a big family, because my father has 4 wives. Yes, polygamy. Anyway, that's another story for another day. So, growing up, it was a bit tricky. I didn't know who I am. Darling, primary, high school, tertiary, I really didn't know who I am and what I really wanted. I would always be steered by who I am at that time. And it kind of made me seem like a deceptive person, because ujabu uzofika athi, we're eating amagwinya, and then I'll be like, I love amagwinya, and then next day unokuthula will come with amakeke, and I'll be like, I love amakeke. That really affected my relationships. I was an outsider. I was outcasted. I wasn't liked. I was rejected. I feel I was always rejected from primary, high school, tertiary, and also when I started to go to church. I felt a lot of rejection from churchgoers. Church people! I see you. Abantu besonto. Yo, I feel like that's where I had the most rejection, and the most hurt. More than high school, more than tertiary, more than primary. I feel like at church is where I got hurt the most, and I feel like it's because I had placed church people in a higher rank, and that's what we do. Let's not put people at any rank, because the moment you expect, when people do not reach that expectation, that's where you get hurt. And sometimes, and when I say that people hurt me, I'm not saying with me. I was like, maybe unintentionally. That sometimes you don't know the extent of what effect you have on the next person. That's why God always always pushes us to be always in a forgiving state, and always putting our neighbors first, and always loving our neighbor, because it is so easy to offend a person. It is so easy to hurt a person without really realizing, without that being your intent. So, I have experienced so much rejection that I almost wanted to, yes, I wanted to take my life. I would go in and out of depression. I didn't want to admit that it was depression, because, depression is like this Depression is like, for me, depression felt like it's a person who does not have their life together. For me, depression felt like it's something that people who do not know God, those are people who get depression. So I would always be afraid to admit Kuti I am sinking into depression. And one of the other things that was affecting me is that I was putting people before me. Yes, I would put people before myself, even my siblings, you know. I would even put my own siblings before me. And when they don't meet me where I have, because you know what happens? You place a standard. Now, let's say for your sister, you've placed a standard. When she says she doesn't feel well, you call the whole day, you go see them, you send flowers, you are there, man. And then when you are sick, Miguel calls you once and says, how are you? And you say, I'm fine. And they're like, okay, then you are fine. And then they leave it there. But for you, then that's where you get offended, because when you're like, but me, I wouldn't do that. I would do more. But now look at that, honey. It's the expectation that you have placed. If you do something, what I've learned is that when you do something, if you are doing it for to get something back, then don't do it, because you will be hurt. So when you go to a friend's house, drive all the way to a friend's house and are there for them in a dark time in their life, and you doing that because you're like, yeah, let me go ahead. What if it happens to me? And you know, she must also, you know. And when she doesn't do that, it will hurt you so much. So yeah, basically that's what I'm thinking. And usually, for me, what happens if I have to go into detail, when at church, what happened was a misunderstanding. I was misunderstood. And I think I also misunderstood the other person, and that affected me because it was a small church, so everybody knew, and people felt like I was going against certain people, and guys, that feeling, I felt so bad. I felt like, you know what, and that really affected me. It affected me so much in a place, in a way that it affected my relationship with God. It did. I wasn't praying as much. I wasn't trusting God as much, and I was like, Mara, this thing, is it really necessary? You know, I'm starting to believe in certain things, and it took approximately healing for 2 years for me to even go back to the church, for me to even face those people. It took a lot of healing, and on their side, they may never know the effect that it had on me. But I had to forgive in a distance. I had to forgive without an apology. I had to forgive without having the opportunity to explain myself. So that was a bit hard for me. But you know what? As I am looking at 30 coming up in a few weeks, my fears about it, I should have had this by now. I should have had my 3 babies by now. I should have had my dream house by now. You know, all those things. I realized that God, what He is giving me now, what God is giving me now does not compare to all those things that I thought I needed. What I have right now, which I can never thank God for, and thank God enough for, the realization of self, the awakening of the true self is the most greatest feeling. Growing up, my mom always said to us, be true to yourself, be true to yourself. I even tattooed it on myself, which is be true. It says, be true to yourself. And then I said, Ma, because it's something that my mom always said, and I get it. I get it. It's okay. It doesn't have to always happen to the way, and I don't have to get offended by everything, and communicating my feelings is okay, and being myself is okay. I'm fine. I'm fine, crazy, talkative, love straight up. I don't have to put weave to fit in. You know what I mean? I had a lot of concepts and of things of maybe if I do this, maybe if I do this, and still I wasn't accepted. Bengwafaka ama-wave, but still I wasn't accepted. I wasn't loved. I was drinking, but still I wasn't accepted. Do you know what I mean? But I still drink my wine, honey. I love wine. So, people saying that wine is for old people. I love it for fun. I don't have it right now. Maybe that's why I don't have it. So, yeah, this has been me. It's been great, and I'm ready for the 30s. I'm ready for this grown me in control me. I want this and I go get it. I go for it. I don't care what my parents say. I go for it now, and I love it. And basically, so that's all. I just wanted to say, you know what? Be true to yourself. The moment you align yourself with God, everything falls into place. When you align with God, you align with yourself. And when you align with God, you align with your true self, or you are true to yourself. So that's just me in a nutshell. 9 minutes. Whoa. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed, share lazy and comment below. Alright.